Hi, this is Glenn Gabe from G Squared Interactive, and this is the fifth episode of SEO from the Front Lines. For today's episode, I'm going to be focused on my latest blog post, which went live last Friday. And it's about how to bulk export translated results from Google Search Console by country, which is important, via the Search Console API and Analytics Edge. I'm a big fan of Analytics Edge. I've written a number of tutorials about how to use it to bulk export data via several APIs, but it's great for using the GSC API to export data in bulk from different properties you have in GSC. So recently, Google expanded translated results to support more languages. Until recently, you would see a lot of traffic from India, Indonesia, when you filtered by translated results. So it was kind of limited, but Google's definitely expanding that, and you could see that in the latest data there. So they announced it, and I'm getting a lot of questions from site owners and SEOs about actually how to see the translated results, not only in GSC, but also how do you see it in action. And then how to export that in bulk, especially large-scale sites that have beyond the 1,000 row limit in GSC, which is very frustrating, and I've written several blog posts about that before. I've spoken with Google about that as well, and it doesn't look like the 1,000 row limit is changing anytime soon in the coverage reporting or performance reporting. So the API, at least for the performance reporting, is great, and it enables you to export in bulk. My tool for using that, number one tool for using that, is Analytics Edge. It's a plugin, an add-on in Excel created by Mike Sullivan. It's great, easy to use, well, relatively easy to use, very powerful, and works like a charm. So what I'm going to do is explain my tutorial here today, which I wrote about on Friday, just about how to actually export all of those translated results. So the first thing I covered was what do they look like in the search results, translated results, and how does it work? So as you can see, this is just an example. You could see there's a message that the snippet and title link, so the title link and snippet are actually translated in the search results. There's a message there below with the icon for Google Translate there. So that's how you know something's being translated. Then it doesn't stop there. As soon as somebody clicks through to your site, they will see the entire page translated by Google Translate. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner here, you have the ability to change those settings, turn off translation, translate to a different language, whatever it may be. So that's what it looks like in the search results. And before I get into exporting, just a quick note that as a site owner or a publisher, you can actually opt out of having your content translated in the search results. The way to do that is to use the meta robots tag using no translate, or the X robots tag, which outputs that in the header. And just understand, as Google explains, that all translation features in Google search will be you'll be opted out from. So it's kind of a big hammer. I don't even know why you would want to do that, but if you want to opt out, the option is there. So getting into exporting of results. So when you export translated results via the API, it's very easy to add another dimension for country there. So you can actually get this in the UI, but it's kind of harder to do and it's not as easy to see. But in the user interface for GSC, if you go to the search appearance tab, which is right here, you can actually see translated results show up. If you click that, now it's filtering everything by translated results. So if you go into the queries tab after filtering, all the queries will be what people entered when they saw translated results. You could also click the countries tab, add a country filter, and then start digging in that way. But again, that's kind of tedious. It's fine to do if you're just, quickly scanning GSC. But if you want all of your data and you're a larger scale site, I would use the API, which is what I get into next. When you use the API, again, you could add the country dimension, and this is what it will look like. As you can see, United States, Korea, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Turkey, Vietnam, Serbia, so on and so forth, which is really cool to see. So then you'll have the query and the country that they were in, which will actually help you debug the situation as well. For example, you can go to the Google CCTLD for any of these countries, and then make sure you use the GL parameter in the URL to set it to the country code. Then search using those queries, and you might be able to find your content being translated. It's a great way to kind of just quickly test things out. So, how to bulk export this data. So, the beautiful part about writing many tutorials over the years, especially with Analytics Edge and GSC, is that I wrote a tutorial about how to export GSC data by search appearance, and I did this in 2019. So what we can do is actually just use that tutorial and tweak some things very quick, and then you'll be able to get all the translated results with the query and the country where the person was sitting in when they did that search. So if you follow that tutorial, the only two things that you're going to need to change are go to the Fields tab in Analytics Edge. This is within Excel. Just so you know, it works. Analytics Edge works in Excel and Google Sheets and across PC and Mac now. Mike's done a great job at expanding that. So if you're in Excel, you want to export query and country. So you will see that in the available dimensions text box here, text area box, and be able to select that and add that to your reporting. So query and country. Then for selected metrics, I would obviously just put clicks, impressions, click-through rate, and position, just so you have that. Then the only other thing that you'll need to tweak is for the search appearance code. And in my tutorial, I explained how to see all the codes for all the different search appearance options that are there that are for your specific site. But what you want to do for translated results is enter all in caps translated _ result. It has to be perfectly like that. And then click OK. And now you're going to be able to export query with country for translated results. And basically it's going to export everything right into Excel for you. And what you do in Excel after that, you can segment the data or filter the data there, send it to clients, use it for testing, archive it, and really dig in. And what I'm what I hammered in this post was it's really good to inform your own international SEO strategy, right? Because now you're going to see people in different countries actually seeing translated results in the search results. So maybe you see enough of something to say, hey, maybe it's worth translating that content using hreflang. So when you use hreflang, now you're telling Google the language and country combination for swapping out the search results when Google detects that. So I have a link here to the hreflang documentation, so you could actually go through that and kind of figure things out. So again, that's the gist of it. It's pretty easy to do, and again, just really cool data to dig into, especially now that Google's expanded its support for more languages. So that's it. I probably have another blog post coming live soon. We are waiting for the next core update, which Danny Sullivan said would roll out within the next few weeks. There's a lot going on, a lot of volatility in the search results. So until the next episode of SEO from the front lines, just understand that there's never a dull moment in Google land. Good luck.